I'm Sexydanny21Awesome, and today I'm here with JTISREBORN, and we're talking about Kong Skull Island today that just came out. We both saw the movie, so we're going to be reviewing it today for Epichorrorfans. So I'm going to start off with JTISREBORN. What did you think of Kong Skull Island?
Okay, so to start this off, we're going to go like a little bit non-spoilerish, then later on we'll have like a title card that comes up that says spoiler section, just for those of you who haven't seen it yet. But, let's start with my thoughts on the movie. Personally, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a great time at it. I mean, I was smirking and smiling the whole time. Now, for those of you who don't know, this film, Kong Skull Island, is the second film in the shared universe of films that is being dubbed the Monsterverse, which began back in 2014 with the 2014 Godzilla film, along with the prequel graphic novel, Godzilla Awakening. So, this film, Kong Skull Island, is set in the 1970s. We have Sam Jackson, we have John Goodman, we have Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Toby Kebbell, and those are pretty much the main cast. I think Corey Mitchell's in it too. And you got a bunch of other ensemble people in here, and it was a lot of fun. What about you? What did you think?
Oh, it was fantastic. I can't tell you. My dad asked me today, did you prefer the Peter Jackson version more, or did you prefer this version more? And I told him, look, I can't choose. They're both really good movies. Like one's like peanut butter and one's like jelly. How are you going to pick between peanut butter and jelly? They're both pretty good, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like this movie. I mean, it's a pretty good movie, and I can't complain about it because it gave me what I wanted, which was a new take on King Kong, you know what I mean? A fresh take.
Exactly.
Not a remake, but something fresh and new and exciting. And I don't think the trailers did the movie justice because the movie was even better than the trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the trailer is like the first teaser trailer I really liked. It was this dark thing. The second trailer, some people are like, it's weird. A lot of people have different opinions on the different trailers. Like, oh, I like the first trailer more. It's more eerie. The second one, like, oh, I like the comedy. And the third trailer, they had like that 70s music, and it was just like this big rockin' tune. It's just Kong with this, giant tree just smacking all these skull crawlers and just beating the shit out of them.
It looked like one of the trailers was paying a homage to Apocalypse Now.
Yes, one of the posters, in fact, has they had for one of the IMAX posters, it's the Apocalypse Now poster. Yeah. I think that, but with King Kong on it. So it's got like the choppers in there. He's got Kong in the sunset. It's pretty cool. I love this Vietnam War setting monster movie, which is something I've never really seen. I mean, they've had plenty of like monster movies in the 1970s that I've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of the Godzilla films, and even the 76 remake of King Kong was set there, but it really didn't have that Vietnam era feel like this one did. And there's just something about it, I'm like, wow, this is fresh, this is new. It's a different take on Kong. Yeah. And I really like it. It's not the Beauty and Beast storyline, which we've had remade several times.
Well, there's definitely a Beauty and the Beast undertone to it, though. There's definitely a Beauty and the Beast character, in the movie, which is the main female.
Brie Larson.
Yeah, Brie Larson is definitely Beauty in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's
not like the whole movie's about that. There's it's not necessarily Kong falls for her. It's more like a sign of respect.
I don't know.
Because when you watch the movie, should we go into spoilers or?
Well, a lot of people could argue that this is just a prequel and that Kong is going to fall in love with Brie Larson's character even more in the next movies to come. But I would say that there's a definite kind of thing going on with Brie Larson, which might be a form of love or respect. But Kong, you can definitely see, does actually care about her character when she's drowning and he goes to save her. There's definitely some.
Yeah, there is, because earlier in the movie, he sees her trying to help out another one of the creatures, and he goes and lifts the chopper off it, and he's just he just looks pissed off. It was He just gives her just a look, and she's like, okay, Kong. And she's just like, oh, I mean, I'd shit my pants too when you see this thing. But yeah, let's talk about the cast. So you got Brie Larson, obviously.
I actually thought Kong was kind of in love with her when she was touching his nose, but I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, if Kong gets that close to you, I mean, sometimes we have that feeling I kind of want to touch that animal. You know what I mean? There's
I know, but I still think there is a Beauty and the Beast, segment to this movie. But I think what this movie does is do a fresh take on Kong, like a fresh take,
Mm-hmm.
something that's never been done before in the series, and like they know they can't remake the movie like freaking like 3 or 4 times. They gotta make it new, and that's
Yes,
what the movie
that's
does.
what I like about it. Because the first film, classic, and you have Son of Kong, which, just Carl Denham comes in. And then you have King Kong versus Godzilla, which they're going to lead to in this series. They're going to
Well,
call it.
this movie is almost like a prequel to the Godzilla movie because it's explaining what happened before the Godzilla movie.
Yes, it is. It's the same universe of films, which began with 2014, and then like the prequel graphic novel. Because the organization that was in Godzilla, Monarch, has a presence in here. That's where John Goodman factors into the movie.
Well, here's my question. I want to ask you a question, okay?
Yes.
Because you know a lot about King Kong Godzilla.
Yes.
Now, at the end of this movie, there is an after credit scene for
Spoiler alert, everyone. So
I don't think that should even be a spoiler. I think people should know that's going to be there. So let's just tell the people that don't know that, stay after the credits.
Yep.
And right now, JT is Reborn and I are going to do spoilers because we're going to tell you about what happens after the credits.
Okay, so but before we get to that, I just wanted to say, do yourself a favor. Check out this movie. Visually, it's stunning. The cast does a great job. There's a lot of awesome monster action, and it's a really, really fun time. Okay, so now we're talking spoilers right here. We're just going to go the rest of the movie. We just wanted to say, go ahead, check out the movie. Visually, it's stunning. Performances are really good, and we didn't want to get too much into it because we're like, oh, there's so much we want to talk about. So go ahead. Let's talk about that post-credit scene first.
Yeah, well, here's my question about the post-credit scene. Now, we know that this is setting up for the second Godzilla movie.
Yes, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Do you think that the second Godzilla movie will take place in the 70s or 80s?
I don't think it's actually going to do that. I think it's going to be present time because, as you remember, in 2014, Godzilla had vanished for years because, they thought they killed him in the 1950s with the nuclear test, which they do mention in Kong Skull Island when John Goodman's his whole thing is I went crazy 30 years ago. Something was taking down my ships.
Are we going to see Brie Larson's character again, or is she just going to be in that movie?
I'm not sure. We may or may not have some flashback scenes in the 1970s. Maybe not for this movie, but maybe for Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, there's a lot of potential because, like I said, there's a huge time difference between the films.
So what you're saying is maybe Brie Larson isn't actually the beauty character. Maybe that's going to be some other female.
Nah, I don't know. Like I said, this is a different take on Kong. It's not entirely that. Kong doesn't seem to really have much interest in it. Even then, he's not he kidnaps her. He kind of sets her back just go off and do your thing. I'm here to help you out.
Yeah, I know, but, I'm just wondering, how they're going to reinterpret that with the new King Kong when he finally gets to New York,
I don't think he's going to New York. I think it's going to be something different. I don't think they're going to have him end up in New York. Him and Godzilla are going to fight. That's going to happen. It's already confirmed.
Do you think that King Kong and Godzilla will fight in New York?
Like I said, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to do that because then how would they get them there? Because you're not going to this Kong is too big to transport. This Kong is not your 25-foot gorilla like in the Peter Jackson one or a 40-foot tall ape like in the 76 one.
They're probably going to do something to get him off the island or something.
Something will happen, as we know, because this Kong is still young, as they acknowledge in the movie. John C. Reilly says that he's still growing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea. But anyways, we should talk more about Kong and then I guess get into more Godzilla stuff.
Okay.
But this movie, the 70s Vietnam setting, I really liked it. And some of the shots in this movie, I think my favorite shot in the entire movie is when the helicopters are in. And you just see the silhouette of Kong, in the sunset. You can't even, see what it looks like. You just see this huge silhouette with the sun as a backdrop. You're just that's a terrifying. That's haunting. That one shot. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's just silhouetted against the sun. You can't even see his face or anything.
Yeah.
That's an amazing shot. This movie is beautiful to look at.
Absolutely, and one of my favorite scenes was with the giant spider with the giant legs, and when they're cutting his legs off, it was amazing.
How is this movie PG-13? This is more violent than a lot of R-rated movies I've seen. The spider sticks its leg right down a guy's throat. You see it through his neck and straight to the ground. One guy gets eaten. Then the skull crawlers, those creepy things like lizard things, spit out the guy's head, which is still bleeding and like burning with acid. And you see his dog tags there.
Yeah.
People are getting ripped apart. People are getting eaten left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrendous. Some guy's body, like, he gets carried away by these birds, which I thought was fucking hilarious, and his arm just gets ripped apart. Like, that was
amazing.
That was amazing. And yeah, this movie, I really enjoyed it. Out of all the characters, who did you like the most? You can do like 2 or 3 if you want. Or
Samuel Jackson, John C. Reilly were my favorite characters.
Yeah, me too. John C. Reilly is this pilot. He's been trapped there since like the 1940s.
Yeah.
And he's been stuck on this island for like just about 29 years. And Sam Jackson, like, what I like about this is Sam Jackson's the one who has the best motivation in the entire movie for going after Kongs. I mean, he's just this guy, like, this is right after the Vietnam War ended. This is like the day after, and his troops are getting deployed. He feels kind of like his purpose isn't, like, he doesn't have a purpose anymore, because this whole thing is fighting. He's like, and they're basically abandoning the war, and he's just like, no, I wanted to finish the job. I wanted to win. You can't just take me out of the fight. We're close to winning. That's kind of like where he's at in the movie. And so he's like, okay, this is like a one last hurrah. It's just a survey mission, one last time for him to say goodbye to his, like, I don't know, like, men. And then all of a sudden they're just dropping these seismic charges. Granted, John Goodman kind of, like, doesn't tell any of them, like, okay, there might be monsters here. He's just like, okay, we're just going on. By the way, I love the Jurassic Park reference where he's just like, as always, hold on to your butts.
Aha.
And then Sam Jackson's men, there's like, what, like 12 to 15 choppers in there? They're just like flying, dropping their stuff, and all of a sudden they look out there, and then like, boom, tree hits. And then like, my God, like all these choppers are going on. This is an amazing scene with Kong, and like Kong's taking down all these choppers. And then like, Sam Jackson's men are dying right in front of him. Then you just see like, the one chopper explode. You just see Kong and Sam Jackson make eye contact, and then right then and there, you know, Sam Jackson's like, I'm gonna kill this fucking ape. Like, the stare down is amazing, and I mean, you're getting Sam Jackson versus King Kong. It's a win-win.
I'm surprised you didn't say, I'm tired of this motherfucking ape on this motherfucking island.
He does, like, as he gets killed in the movie, he's like, die, you motherfucker. And then the ape just... I mean, King Kong gets fucking napalmed in this movie. It's great.
Yeah, like, he wakes up just in time before he's gonna blow him up. He's like, psh. Like, Kong's actually really smart in this movie, which I really appreciate, because, you know, a lot of the King Kong movies, they make King Kong out to be really stupid or, you know, not very smart, where in this movie, he's actually very intelligent.
Yeah, he's intelligent, and he's more... And, like, in this one, he's the king of his island. He's not necessarily, like, just, like, trying to, like, grab some girl for some reason. He's the guy who, like, keeps an eye on the creatures and tries to fight and kill all the skull crawlers that come up. What did you think of those, like, skull crawlers? Did you like the design of them?
I was surprised that the people that lived on the island didn't try to sacrifice the girl for Kong. I thought for sure that when they were sewing those, like, pieces of rope, that they were going to tie her up and sacrifice her to Kong, because you automatically think that, because that happens in every, like, freaking King Kong movie, and it doesn't happen in this movie. It's like the opposite of what you would think would happen, and I gotta appreciate that, you know, because the director didn't want it to be like every King Kong movie.
That's the best thing I could take away from this. It's something new and fresh. It's not the Beauty and the Beast storyline, like the entire movie, like you're saying. It's something different. It's not they capture and bring them to New York, because I mean, even though I enjoyed, like, the Peter Jackson one, even the 76 one, for what it is, like, it's the same storyline. In the Peter Jackson one, like, as much as I love that movie and how it expands and all the actors and the effects and everything in that, it's the same exact... It's very predictable. You know everything that's going to happen, because we've seen it, like, done before. I mean, say what you want about, like, some of the... I mean, I don't want to compliment King Kong Lives, because that's a piece of shit, but at least, like... It does something, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, I guess, since that movie that we've gotten, like, something new in terms of Kong, even though that's, like, a sequel. But, like, this one, like, fresh and new, fresh start Kong. That's what I love about it.
Absolutely, yeah. I gotta say, there's so many great scenes in this movie with King Kong, like, so many memorable scenes where he just gets the tree and he hits the giant... It's a skull crawler, right?
Yep, that's what
Yeah,
John C.
he
Reilly
gets a
calls him.
giant skull crawler right in the face.
He,
Some of the scenes are kind of like Peter Jackson's movie, like when he's trying to like
rip
pull
its
open his
jaws.
mouth.
I thought he
Like,
was gonna go for that, and then like
yeah, and
just
then
smashed it up against a rock or a mountain or something.
one of my favorite scenes is when that guy has those hand grenades and he's
Mhm.
gonna use it on the skull crawler, and he just like he hits him right into the
Tail, and then he falls, and then he hits the wall, like, and he hits the side of that mountain. And I'm like, you think it's gonna be like? It reminds me a bit of Predator too. Like remember when Billy like has his knife and he's like going to make his final stand against the Predator. Just instead of that, like he's like ready. I'm like, come on, motherfucker! I'm gonna like go after you. Whack, boom, and it explodes. It's pretty spectacular. Just I'm dead. So what else? What do you think of the monster battles? Really amazing.
Absolutely, and the skull crawlers looked fantastic in this movie. Kong, the CGI in this movie was amazing. It really shows you what they can do with a CGI, monster. Like, just like King Kong's look in this movie, the way they made his fur look and his nose, like the close-up scenes of Kong look so real that I almost thought it was an animatronic at a couple points.
Yeah, the CGI is really well done in this movie.
I mean, even compared to like a movie like Planet of the Apes, I would say the CGI is probably even a little bit better than that.
Yeah, like it's definitely better than Rise of the Planet of the Apes, even Dawn in certain areas. Well, some of the actors who worked on those movies did the motion capture for Kong.
Oh, really? Well, they
Mhm.
definitely improved the CGI in this movie.
Yeah, I think it's like they're not focused. They don't have to do like I don't know, like thousands of apes. They just have to focus on the one ape. So,
Yeah.
how about some of the locations? Like, this is the first big movie to ever shoot in Vietnam, from what I heard.
Well,
Because like
they
most,
filmed in Vietnam and Australia apparently.
yeah, in Hawaii, but like some of the Vietnam locations look really nice.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I definitely like when they were going to the island. I definitely got like the feeling that they were going to Vietnam. You know what I mean? Because
mhm.
it just looked kind of like Vietnam to me. I was like, is that Vietnam? No.
It is Vietnam because they filmed there.
That's why it looks like it.
Hmm.
It's such a cool location to shoot in because Vietnam's just like one of those places where like anything can happen type of thing, and it just works for a Kong being there. It's just a great location. It's like you just like Vietnam itself just feels like a dangerous, beautiful area, which it was in the 1970s when they had the war, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's why it works so good for this movie. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it works well. Even like there's a line in the movie where Tom Hiddleston goes, "Sometimes the most beautiful place. Why is it that always the most beautiful places are the most dangerous? Like especially at nighttime. Like when they're
Yeah.
there, they got like those Northern Lights type deal going on there, and Kong's just sitting in his cave, like looking, contemplating about his world and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the film is I love this movie. If I was to rate it out of 10, I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10.
Yep, eight or nine for me, something like that. I had a blast at this. What else can we talk about really quick before we exit? Tom Hiddleston was fine. I mean, some people complain like there's not too much depth to everyone, but in a movie like this, if you can give me actors who can like give good performances and carry on throughout the film, and they're slightly interesting, then
Yeah.
that's fine with me because I'm not necessarily here for the human characters. I'm here for guess what, King Kong. You know what I mean? And that's what I got. Like this one goes right for the fun, and I had a really good time with it. John Goodman's good as like this.
About the movie was that they didn't make it about the characters. They made it about Kong, and that's what it should be about because the movie's about Kong.
Exactly.
You need to know who King Kong is if he's gonna fight Godzilla. This is like Kong's backstory.
Yep.
You
And
know what I mean?
just so it's clear, they're also going to be releasing like the tie-in graphic novels for this. That's going to tell more of his story. They're going to have a few issues. I think that comes out in April of this year,
Yeah.
just like they did for Godzilla 2014. They had the Godzilla Awakening graphic novel, and now they're going to do one with the Kong tie-in. So you'll get more of the quote-unquote monster verse. So Yeah, John Goodman. One thing I should mention, like in the movie, I wasn't sure if like when he mentioned how his like ship went down and he was the only survivor. Was that Godzilla who took down his ship? I think it is. What about you? Do you think that was Godzilla who took down his ship or like some other
Definitely
monster?
thought it was Godzilla. Definitely think it was Godzilla.
Yeah, I think the ship was the USS Lawton. I'd have to double check to see if that was one of the ships that was taken out in like the prequel graphic novel. Because if that's the case, then it wouldn't have been Godzilla. But it, for all I know, it could have been. Like he was just like he just felt like. By the way, I think is this the only time John Goodman and Sam Jackson have ever done a movie together? I've never seen them do anything else.
Fantastic.
That's one thing I was looking forward to. I'm like, you know what? I really like these two actors. And I'd like to see them like interact with each other, and like when they're there, like they're on their game.
They're both really like over the top, like insane actors in this movie, and that's what makes it work so good. Because Samuel Jackson knows that this guy is the reason they got into this shit, and he also knows that Samuel Jackson's crazy as hell in this movie, and that he's gonna do something insane. So it's almost like I don't know. It's like they're working off each other type of thing. You know what I mean?
They do a great job.
They both know that they're flawed characters in their own right. You know what I mean? Samuel Jackson's character is one of those guys who doesn't. He's one of those guys that doesn't know when to go home and pack up and pack your bags and get out of there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the other guy, he doesn't tell anybody anything, and he puts all these people in this situation where their lives are at stake because of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about them because they're both flawed characters.
Mm-hmm.
And
you completely understand Sam Jackson's dilemma. Like one thing I like about it is like you can understand both points of view. For Kong, it's just like somebody comes into your house, you just start dropping bombs. Like I mean, and like he's defending his territory. Sam Jackson and them, they're just doing what they're told. They're just dropping seismic charges. For all they know, they have no idea there's monsters on this island. And like when Sam Jackson's like going after Kong, you don't want to root against this guy, but you don't want to like you want to root for him, but you also want to root against him too because you like Kong. You like both things, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed. You can completely understand both characters. It would have been easy for them to make him just a straight up villain, but no, you understand. These are his men who he's like, cared for, who've given their lives for him. You know what I mean? They've been with him in thick and thin.
That's what I love about the King Kong and the Godzilla movie, that they don't like demonize the characters. They give them like a reason why they're there.
Exactly. I mean? There's no like human villain that you just want to see get eaten or killed.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really cool to see Godzilla and King Kong fight each other because it's gonna be like two anti-hero monsters fighting each other. I mean, it's gonna be really cool.
Yep, 2020. So they're gonna have to be filming Godzilla King of the Monsters, and this year they're gonna have Vera Farmiga from Bates Motel.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Chandler, who's in a couple movies. He was actually in the Peter Jackson King Kong. He was.
You're saying this is going to take place in modern time? You're thinking?
It will be modern time because there's no way you can have those four monsters that they teased in this movie fighting and not anybody know about it because of like the timeline of how Godzilla just kind of disappeared for like 40 years or so. Okay. So it's going to be modern time. They might have some flashbacks. Okay. Maybe perhaps Tom Hiddleston and them factor in with Monarch. Who knows? It's all up in the air. But I know they just announced that they set up like a writer's room of like 8 people who've done like all sorts of different projects to crack the story for Godzilla vs. Kong, how it's going to factor in. So
I can't wait. And when all these movies come out, I hope that they have like a box set of just the King Kong and the Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
like,
the rights are.
You know what I mean? Like in a box. You know what I love? If like after they're done all these movies, they put them in like a secret box that's like locked up or something. Like
it'll have like the Monarch logo on it and that.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? And it'll look like it came from one of the countries or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you have to like unlock it with a key or something. Like make like a really cool box set for like all of these movies.
Yep.
That would be cool.
It would be. Yep. Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah coming up. So that's to look forward to.
I am looking forward to it.
Yep.
So
anyways,
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. What are you going to give it?
You said 8?
Yeah.
8.5 out of 10.
8.5. So what's that? 8.5?
Yeah, 8.5.
8.5, and I give it an 8. And that's our review
So,
for horror fans.
Yep. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Come back another time. We're going to review Bates Motel, the final season.
Motel review coming up.
Yep.
We're both really enjoying this season, so we can't wait for you guys to see it.
For the finale. It's going to
Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.